Today, we're digging into the secret life of a major 19th century statesman. It's a story about a very public, very serious job, and a very private, totally consuming passion. Let's get into it.
Now, if you know anything about Finnish history, the name Mannerheim probably rings a bell. You're thinking of the great marshal and president, but we're not talking about him. We're going back a generation to his grandfather, a man who was just as powerful, but with a way more unusual secret.
So, meet Count Carl Gustaf Mannerheim. Take a look at this portrait from 1849. I mean, you see exactly what he was supposed to be, right? A powerful Finnish nobleman covered in medals. His dad, Carl Erik Mannerheim, was basically Finland's prime minister. So Carl Gustaf was absolutely destined for a life at the top. He looked serious, stern, and, well, really important.
But behind that formidable official exterior was a passion that took up pretty much all of his free time. So what was it? What was the secret obsession of this powerful governor and judge?
Okay, first, let's just lay out his public life. To really get how wild his secret was, you have to understand the man the world saw every single day. And let me tell you, his career was impressive.
His rise was, well, pretty meteoric. Right after university in 1819, he shot off to St. Petersburg, the heart of the Russian Empire, and started working for a top Finnish official. By 1833, he's made governor, first of Vasa, then of the super-important Viipuri province. He eventually topped it all off by becoming chief judge of the Imperial Court of Appeals. By every measure, this guy was a pillar of the establishment.
And you can literally see the transformation right here. On the left, that's him in 1823. Young, ambitious, just starting out. Then, fast forward 26 years to the guy on the right, a powerful, decorated official. This was the face he showed the world, a man of law, of order, and of government.
All right, now for the good part. Because while Governor Mannerheim was busy running provinces and overseeing courts, he was leading this whole other secret life, one totally dedicated to a tiny, hidden world.
He was an entomologist, a super passionate, incredibly dedicated, and, it turns out, world-renowned student of insects. This very serious statesman spent every spare moment he could find collecting, cataloging, and studying beetles. Yep, beetles. And he was specific. His whole focus was on the order Coleoptera. That's the scientific name for beetles. And look, this was not just some casual hobby. This was a massive scientific mission. Okay, get ready for this, because this is where the scale of his obsession really hits you. His personal collection had almost 100,000 individual beetle specimens. Just let that sink in for a second. 100,000.
And it wasn't just about quantity either. Those specimens, they represented 20,000 different species. At the time, it was one of the most important private collections on the planet.
And this wasn't some little phase he went through. He kept this up for 40 years, the entire time he had his demanding public career. He was living a double life, a governor by day and one of the world's top beetle experts by night. So that brings up a pretty big question. How? I mean, how does a busy governor in 19th century Finland build a collection of beetles from all over the world? Well, the answer was his network. His collection got famous for its incredible specimens from the coldest, most remote parts of the world. He managed to get beetles from what was then Russian America, what we now call Alaska, all the way across Siberia and northern Scandinavia. He was brilliant about it. He used his position to his advantage. He wrote to other wealthy amateur collectors all over Europe. He got in touch with Finnish settlers in these crazy remote outposts of the Russian Empire, like Sitka, Alaska, and basically said, hey, send me your bugs. His connections in the capital, St. Petersburg, opened all sorts of doors, and he works directly with major museums. He basically turned his social and political network into a global beetle collecting machine.
So what did all this work amount to? Let's talk about his legacy, because this passion of his left a permanent mark, not just on science, but on his family too. A legacy that goes way beyond government buildings and courtrooms.
And here it is, the connection we started with. His grandson was the Carl Gustaf Mannerheim, the man who would go on to become a marshal and the 6th president of Finland. You could say that a passion for detail and dedication definitely ran in the family. But the famous connections don't even stop there. His daughter, Anna, ended up marrying another giant of 19th century exploration, Baron Adolf Erik Nordenskiöld, the legendary Arctic explorer. I mean, this family was right at the center of everything happening in Finland's public and scientific life. And this, right here, really shows his impact on science. See, Mannerheim wasn't just a collector. He was a respected scientist who published tons of papers, and his peers gave him one of the highest honors a naturalist can get. They named entire genera and multiple species of beetles after him, like Mannerheimia urctica, a little nod to his expertise in Arctic insects.
And just in case you thought this was all some amateur hour, think again. His work was officially recognized by the most prestigious scientific groups of his day. We're talking the St. Petersburg Academy of Sciences, the Finnish Society of Sciences and Letters, even the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences. This was the real deal. This was serious science.
So, we'll leave you with this thought. The stern-faced governor, the pillar of the establishment, lived a whole secret life and became a world expert on something completely disconnected from his day job. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What hidden passions are driving the people we think we know? And maybe more importantly, what's the passion that defines your life outside of your work?